on board with Esteban Ocon, who is very wrestling the car, coming into the hairpin, as you can see on your screen. And at the moment, Ocon is a 10th up on Bortoleto to get himself into Q2. As we ride on board with that, now really wrestling the car, coming out of the hairpin. Alonso is over a 10th down on Bortoleto, so at the moment he won't be going in to Q2. This man though, Esteban Ocon, might, as he comes out of the final chicane to see if he's got the pace to get into Q2, and he does though in 15th. Does Esteban Ocon. What about Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin? Avoiding the wall of champions on the right hand side. Alonso crosses the line and he's only 18th, so he is out of qualifying, as they are turning it on to Charles Leclerc on the radio, and we need to box Charles box. And he said, did we break something? And they said they will check the car. Bortoleto's down on Albon's time by only half a tenth, so it's still close for Bortoleto. Hulkenberg goes into Q2 as he goes 14th fastest, and we're on board now with the other Audi of Gabriel Bortoleto. Has he got pace to get into Q2 once again in his F1 career? He comes into the final chicane for one more time, avoids the wall briefly on the right hand side. Can Bortoleto get into Q2? Yes he can! Knocks out Esteban Ocon as he puts his Audi in 16th position, and once again Esteban Ocon is out in Q1. This is what happened to Valtteri Bottas in the Cadillac, locking up into turn 1, and this is Lance Stroll just making a mistake on his own at turn 3. Not what Bottas and Stroll needed, and they are both out of qualifying, and Lance Stroll, very disappointing for him in his home Grand Prix. And Alonso looks like he got blocked by a slow moving Cadillac.
Yeah, neither I, mate.
Alonso is not happy because of Sergio Perez getting in his line. So Ocon, Albon, Alonso, Perez, Stroll and Bottas are the first 6 to fall in Q1. And you can see Liam Lawson coming up to the line now, and he just misses out. Only 11th fastest for the Kiwi in the Racing Bulls as Isaac Hadjar in the Red Bull comes across the line. Hadjar goes fastest. Great lap there from Isaac Hadjar in the Red Bull. What about Nico Hulkenberg in the Audi? Can he get into Q3? No! Misses out by just 300ths of a second in 11th. What about his teammate Gabriel Bortoleto? Does he have pace to get Q3? Leclerc, are we looking to get into Q3? Behrman's out, only 14th fastest for him in the Haas, as Bortoleto comes out of the final chicane down towards the line. Can the Brazilian get into Q3 again in Formula 1? No, only 13th fastest for Bortoleto, and Sainz is going to go out as well as we ride on board with Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari into the final chicane. Hopefully he can get his car safely into Q3. Leclerc crosses the line and he goes 8th fastest, but only 8th fastest. That should be good enough though. Lindblad has finished behind him in 9th. What about Pierre Gasly? Can he get into Q3? He's had a difficult weekend so far, and it will continue. Only 14th fastest for Pierre Gasly, and his teammate Franco Colapinto is going to go through to Q3. Hulkenberg, Lawson, Bortoleto, Gasly, Sainz and Behrman are the next 6 to fall in Q2. Q3 comes next for the battle for pole. Max Verstappen, who has been successful here in Canada for previous years. He probably won't be successful this year, but he's on provisional pole so far. As Colapinto sets a slow time, but it was just a warm-up lap as Hadjar crosses the line half a second down of Verstappen. But here comes Oscar Piastri in the McLaren. He should go quicker than Max Verstappen, and he does so by half a second ahead of the Dutchman. What about the reigning champion Lando Norris? Can he put it on pole? Yes, he can. A 1:12.7 for Lando Norris. Now we turn our attention to Lewis Hamilton. He hasn't been on pole here since 2017. Can he take pole again? Yes, he can. No, sorry, he hasn't. He's put himself on the front row and misses out by a tenth of a second. What about his teammate Charles Leclerc? Does he have pace to take pole away from Norris? No, only 4th fastest for Charles Leclerc. Our attention now turns to the 2 Mercedes, who have been absolutely rapid so far this season. Which one of them could put it on pole? Russell pits, because he must have made a mistake on his lap. So it's all down now to our championship leader, Kimi Antonelli. Does he have pace in his Mercedes to take pole away from Lando Norris? No, only 4 fastest for the championship leader. McLaren and Norris have pole for now. So this is what happened to George Russell. I had a bit of oversteer and a lock up into turn 4. Verstappen is not in the fight for pole. He's 4.5 tenths down. This man might be in the fight for pole. We're on board with George Russell getting a bit of a slipstream from Franco Colapinto ahead of him, and Russell now comes into the final chicane. The man who was on pole for the Grand Prix here for the last 2 years, looking to make it 3 years in a row, and he's not done it at the moment, but it's 3rd fastest for George Russell. Max Verstappen now coming up to the line. Can he take pole position? I don't think he can. He comes up to the line, and he goes. He doesn't improve, he's only 7th. Kimi Antonelli, fastest in the 1st sector. Has he got pace to take pole away from Lando Norris? Lindblad goes 7th fastest, ahead of Verstappen. Good effort from the rookie. Here's Kimi Antonelli. Can he take pole away from Lando Norris? He does, by 83 thousandths of a second. What can Russell and Norris do to that? Can Charles Leclerc find enough pace to put his car somewhere near the front of the field? Leclerc up across the line, only 4 fastest for the Monegasque driver. Our attention turns to Lando Norris now. He was fast in the middle sector, but then it was stolen by Piastri. Norris is looking to take his 1st pole position for a Grand Prix this season. Can he take it away from Antonelli? No! He misses out by 88 milliseconds. But can Oscar Piastri, his teammate, put his car on pole? Piastri over the line? No, he's only 3rd. And keep an eye on George Russell. He's fastest in the middle sector. Isaac Hadjar in the Red Bull crosses the line. He goes up to 5th. Good effort from Isaac Hadjar ahead of Charles Leclerc. But now it's time to turn our attention to George Russell. The man who was on pole for the last 2 years here in Montreal. Can he take pole for a 3rd year in a row? He can! George Russell's done it again. Mr. Saturday back on top as Max Verstappen crosses the line, only 6th fastest for the 4-time world champion. But once again in Montreal, it's George Russell who takes pole position. A front row lookout for Mercedes. And that is why Russell adores Canada. He's on pole again.
Nice one. Yes! Oh, we made that a bit tricky. That you thought.
George Russell, we're very elated with that pole lap. It's another pole position in Canada for George Russell. 3 in a row. And he'll be going for victory tomorrow to get back in that championship fight.